Hey everybody, Jared of Second Life Design. Welcome back to Milling Monday. We are getting back to slab drying. Episodes 14 and 19, we talked about my slab drying process. And that went over first evaluating the slabs once you've slabbed them and looking for different defects, flaws, interesting grain, etc. And then also the second part was about stacking everything inside. Whenever possible, I prefer to dry inside. It just expedites the process, makes it a little bit better. That's not always an option. For most people, that's not an option. So, including myself, I have a pretty good volume of wood coming in all the time, and I have to store things outside. It's totally fine. It's a dead simple process, and I had a stack of walnut come in, and I got them all stacked up outside, and I want to show you how I did that. So let me show you a little video I made of that, and we'll pick it up back inside here. All right, so we are outside my driveway. This could be your driveway just the same. You can see I'm using a pallet as the base for all my slabs. I really like using these. They are generally very flat. They're very free. You can find them anywhere, and they're really stable. They're always made out of a heavy-duty wood, made to hold a lot of weight, and that's exactly what slabs are. So this is a full-size one, 4 foot by 8 foot, and it works well in this case where I've got a large amount of different sized slabs where I cut them all at the same thickness, but they're very differing in width. And that's why this is really nice. You can see I'm using a lot of different sizes to kind of maximize the space, where I'm going the full width across the whole stack, but I'm getting a lot of different slabs stacked on here. So for me, this is a really efficient method, and then I can get a lot of slabs in one area, to where this was actually about 10 different logs, and they're all going to be in one stack, drying at the same rate, at the same time, and there's not a lot of error that can happen with this. Traditionally, you would want to stack these in kind of the European method where they are stacked in the same way that they are cut, kind of sequentially from the log, but in this case, I'm not doing it that way, and it's still going to be fine. They're going to work out quite well. I've done this many times. The biggest question I know people are going to have is, do you need a roof over this? Is there anything you can cover it with? I do not. I don't see a need in it. It's extra effort and extra material that it does not gain anything. The worst that's going to happen is the top slabs are going to turn kind of a gray color, kind of a suntan from the sun, and that is it. I've not had any other issues with it. This has worked out quite well in my experience. All right, so that's a really quick time lapse. When I was filming that, I was trying to beat some weather that was coming in. I wanted to get the slabs stacked up, and I had about 20 minutes after I was done, I was covered up in rain, so that's why that was so brief. But I really want to hammer home the point of using a pallet as an option to stack slabs. I've been doing it for years, had really good luck with it, and it just works really well. Working on a small footprint like I am, that is kind of the best use of space for me, where I tend to cut all my stuff in the same thickness or a couple different thicknesses. So mostly I cut at 2 1/4, so it doesn't matter what species it is, it doesn't matter kind of roughly what size it is. If it's all 2 1/4, you can stack those things up, and it can be walnut next to maple, next to cherry, and it doesn't really matter. It's all just going to be drying. If you cut some stuff at 5 1/4, if you can add a layer of 5 1/4 in there, as long as it's all the same thickness in that layer, it doesn't really matter. So for maximizing space, it's my best option. It's what I really like. It's really quick and it's really cheap. When I picked that pallet out, pallets are available anywhere and everywhere. Outside of any commercial building, you'll find them. A lot of times they're free, that people want you to take them because they're just in the way. So you can kind of get creative on the different sizes of them out there. You can make them twice as long. If you had slabs that were 16 feet long, you could get 2 long pallets and double them up, and there you go. So with that stack, I think I ended up, I counted just now, and I had 51 slabs on top of it, and that's pretty awesome. That's a really, it's over 6 feet tall of area. So I'm really big fan of that. I've had stuff sitting outside on pallets in the grass, kind of like behind my garage. It's kind of a no man's land of area where grass doesn't grow that well, but I stack a lot of slabs out there and had them sit on a pallet for 2-3 years without an issue. Not had any rot, mildew issue in the slabs. The pallet is holding up really well. it's kind of sinking into the dirt as as it's over time, but it's still serving the purpose. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously better options out there. You could get some nice cement blocks and level them and do all that, but the proof's in the pudding with this one, where you just throw a pallet on the ground and get it half-ass level, and it's going to work. Probably I talked about putting a roof over it. Not a big fan of it. Just extra effort and materials you don't need to use. The second question people are going to have is going to be on drying time. I'm in East Central Illinois. That is walnut cut at 2 1/4 inches or at 9 1/4. I'll leave that out there for about 18 months. That's what works for me. Drying times with wood outside are going to vary a lot based on your region and on the species. So, if that were white oak, it would take twice as long. If it were like ash, dries very quickly, that would take less time. It's just, everything is variable. So I don't, the adage of 1 inch per year is, to me, a little bit slow. I think it's a little bit faster of a process than that. So it's kind of like 1 inch for every 9 months. But that's my experience in my climate. It's likely to be very different for you. So that's going to take some experimentation from your end. That's as much in the quick version. That's the most explanation I can give you. So really appreciate all the support, guys. Keep the questions coming. I get stuff all the time, different questions for people, and it really makes me think about different scenarios, and I'm sure if you're thinking it, someone else is as well. So really appreciate that. Don't be shy. Send them my way, and we'll see what we can hash out. Please hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate all that. The numbers are kind of rolling up there, and it's, people are commenting on Instagram of, sharing, tagging me in a post of, I never thought I'd do this, but I'm milling slabs now, and thanks for, doing all the videos. Really appreciate it. That's really cool. That's what someone did that for me, and so I appreciate doing it for other people. Yeah, really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.